lampshade tutorial for Thanksgiving, and I decided that I would go ahead and sit right here and do part 2 of our trip to Marseille. When we last left off, welcome to my Parisian journey, by the way. When we last left off the story, we were in Clara's. We had just arrived around midnight at Clara's mom's apartment and stepdad. And we went to bed, and Scott reminded me of two things I need to tell you different from the first video really quickly. If you haven't seen it, I will link it below. The reason that Philippe gave the little speech about World War II, I remembered when I was telling it to you, I was thinking, what in the world brought that up? And what it was they were asking us a lot of questions about our family. And when I told them that my brother was a colonel in the Marine Corps, they loved that almost as much as they loved the Texas thing and everything. And that's what brought that up. When we mentioned that he was a colonel in the Marine Corps, they wanted to know all about that. They asked a lot of questions about that. And that's when they said the thing about World War II. And also they were really... they mentioned 9/11. They were very, it was a heartfelt conversation. They were horrified for us, and, watching it from across the world, they were probably not equally upset, but extremely upset at the events of that day. So that's how that came up. The other thing that Scott told me, he says, you forgot to mention that when we got to the mom's apartment, they offered us a drink before we went to bed, like a little after, I don't even know what drink, but we, of course, I don't remember what we did. We probably turned it down, although I don't remember. So that was kind of funny that after all that, and I'm not trying to portray these people as alcoholics, because they completely were not. It was just all special occasion type things, right? Okay. So we took a shower really quick and got ready and came out. And as soon as we started talking, we all got along so well. Their English was good. It was a little bit more difficult to communicate, but not a whole lot. We certainly had great conversation. The apartment was really pretty. It was not decorated in French style, so to speak. It was just very comfortable, very clean, neat. Not a lot of stuff, if you know what I mean, sitting around. Not a lot of little statues or anything sitting around the apartment. There was something else I was going to tell you about the apartment. Now I don't remember what it was. It'll come out as I'm talking. So we decided it was time for breakfast, right? And this apartment had a view of the ocean. Like, it was far, but you could totally see the ocean, and you'll see that in the pictures. But they had a beautiful large balcony right off of the living area. And out there they had a large table and a grill. And I will tell you now that there was such a difference between Paris and Marseille. It was more Italy-ish down there. It was not that I've ever been to Italy, but it was those colors of southern France, of Provence, the yellows, the oranges, the greens, those kind of colors. It was a much more casual feeling lifestyle down there. It was just different than Paris. It was a real different feel of that area, and I enjoyed being there because it was just so relaxed. So they put the beautiful tablecloth out. We had coffee and orange juice and croissants, and I believe there were some different jellies or something that we could put on our butter, maybe, that we could put on our croissant if we wanted. So we sat out. The weather was perfect. It's probably in the 70s, and we sat out and we had a beautiful breakfast overlooking the beautiful view of the rooftops and then the ocean in the distance. They told us that we had a full day planned. The morning, after breakfast was going to be, we were going to go to the grandma's house and meet her. and have a time with her. And then we were going to tour some things in the city that we didn't tour the day before. There was one specific, well, I'll show a picture of that in a little bit, but there was a specific building that we toured that I'm going to have to put the name of it when we get to it, because it's famous and it's got this huge gold statue on the top. Well, anyway, first we went to the grandma's apartment. It was really large. It was, she had been there, I believe, it seemed many, many, many years. She had a backyard, or a courtyard area behind the house. There's yeah. So let me put a couple pictures in now of. There's one of Clara's sister. She found a turtle in the garden. There's a couple with grandma, with each of us. And then we went inside, and she had made a special tray of soft drinks and different things for us to choose from. It was very, very, well presented. And then we all sat around and talked, sat on the couch, took a couple of pictures, and then she took us, I believe, downstairs. I want to say she was a seamstress, because I believe downstairs we went and saw a lot of fabric and a sewing machine. It's been so many years, I don't remember exactly. I should have Scott here because he'll be correcting me when he watches this. But we spent, probably an hour at least with the grandma. And that was really fun. And she was really sweet. And so we're back in the car now. And it was the mom and myself and the two girls in the back seat. They had a little bit larger vehicle than Philippe had the day before, and we went all over, down back by the coast, and we went. I'll put a couple pictures of the views we had of that building. I'm going to put a couple pictures of that building with the name of the building, and that was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I'm so glad we did that. In the picture, you will see an island in the water near, the port. The Marseille port is there, and then out there is an island out there, and that is where the Count of Monte Cristo was filmed. The movie, that was the prison. Now, was it really the prison in real life? I don't know. Is that even a true story? I really don't know. My husband, again, will be correcting me. And maybe I'll put a little blurb right here of whether that was true or not. But okay, we went all through town. We just had a fantastic morning. Okay. Now, about 1 o'clock, we went, I guess 1 o'clock, I don't remember. We went back to the apartment, and they fixed lunch for us, and they grilled shish kebabs, and it was so good. It was just like being at home. My husband's specialty in our house is shish. I should do that recipe for y'all. It's so good. Is shish kebabs. That's his specialty. We all love it, and so that's what they made for us. And again, when you received your plate of your lunch, the presentation was just really nice. And I'll pop a picture in of the lunch now. Now, in one of those pictures, you might have seen the mom with a little baggie. And that was really fun. That was really funny because I could see I was helping out as much as, whatever she asked me to do. I would kind of carry things back and forth to the table, because we ate again out on I think we ate outside again. I believe we did, because it was just beautiful sunshine. Um, she had this little baggie, and I could see the girls over there with these teeny tiny ice trays, okay, with these, I believe they were 1 inch by 1 inch ice cubes. Well, evidently they had been freezing and saving ice cubes in these little Ziploc bags just for me and Scott. And as the weekend went on, we figured out that Clara had told them everything, okay? And obviously, we fill our cup full of ice before we put a drink in it, before we pour the tea or whatever in it. So they kept bringing me little bowls, these little tiny bowls of these little 1 inch ice cubes. And I just thought that was so thoughtful. Um, it was just so thoughtful. I just couldn't believe that they had. I don't think they normally did this. Maybe they do, but I don't think so because it was like a little special thing just at my place. I don't even think they gave Scott any, but I guess Clara had observed how much ice I like in my drinks while she was in our home. So then after lunch, they told us now we're going to the festival. I believe this was the order of events. We might have gone to the festival before our lunch. I cannot remember. So we went to this incredible outdoor festival. Oh my goodness. There was a little band which I'll pop in. I only have one picture of the there were people selling things like I got a beautiful tablecloth. I got some baskets, and they were all in that southern France kind of Provence motif. Very, very beautiful. I don't remember what else I got. That might have been all that I got at that festival. But it was really fun. At the park, there was some kind of a play or some kind of a stage thing going on. But it was very local, very local. Like there wasn't a professional to be seen. It was just your local people doing this little festival. And it was just so charming and fun. We got ice cream at one point. We got like Fanta or something some kind of a soft drink at one point. There were people with their dogs. It was just a very typical little festival. So, so we stayed at the festival. We probably got back to the apartment around 4 o'clock. Um, and we were all kind of tired. Even they were kind of tired. Um, the men went over into the family room, which was right there, and this Clara's stepfather was a safari hunter. He had been on a lot of safaris, so they had shown us some photo albums with the safari pictures in it. And I told you I would show you some of their bedroom, and I decided that was probably too personal to show someone their bedroom because I don't have permission. But I will show you a wall hanging that was on the wall in the master bedroom. So, yeah, there was a lot of things from Africa displayed, periodically around the home because obviously that was a very important thing. And I believe she had gone with him but wasn't interested in hunting or anything. The mom was extremely sweet. And while the men were talking hunting and everything, and I think there was something on TV. I don't think it was football, but this would have been Sunday afternoon, but I don't think they are. That's ridiculous, right? I don't think there was football. Something was on. And I believe the stepdad fell asleep in the chair, and I believe Scott fell asleep on the couch. And because our train to go back to Paris wasn't leaving till I believe it was 7 o'clock. So we had a couple hours to kill. So the girls and I went out, and the mom, the four of us went out on the balcony again, and we talked a lot about motherhood. And we totally bonded over children and how we feel about them. And we discussed the differences in the schools, in our children's schools. We discussed teachers, because, in fact, because one of the girls had brought their folder out because it was Sunday afternoon. She needed to do a little bit of homework. So the mom was kind of looking through the folder to see if she had done it. And she was shaking her head, just kind of disgusted. And I was like, what's wrong? And she said, it's just too much work. Evidently, French, uh, correct me if you're familiar with it, but evidently it's tough. French schools are tough. And the mom said to me, if you can survive it, you can survive anything. Like, it is very difficult. It's very tedious. It's very demanding. And they also had a very interesting schedule. They go to school in the morning and then they have like 2 hours off, and then they go back in the afternoon. So Clara comes home from school, I believe, to the apartment and hangs out for 2. I don't know how it works, but anyway, it was really interesting. So we talked a lot about our kids. We talked about education and the differences in America versus France. So that was really interesting. Um, and then we decided to play Scrabble because we had. So they got the Scrabble game out, and we're all sitting there. And then we looked at each other and we said, well, how is this going to work? The tile count of different letters is going to be different for French than English, I think. I think your number of letters that you would need to make a good board would be different in different languages. I think that makes sense. But I don't know what kind of board we were playing on, but I used English words and they used French words, and it worked fine. Nobody checked anybody's spelling, but it worked fine, and we had a really good time doing that. And I don't remember who won. So they kept asking us, is there anything else you want? Is there anything else you need to do? Blah, blah, blah. And we said, I kind of mentioned this place that I had seen in all the pictures of Marseille, that it was a fountain type area. I think it was an old aqueduct or something. And they said, absolutely, we will take you there on the way to the train and let you see it. So I'll put some pictures of that in here. Okay, so they took us to the train station, same one we left from or arrived in, and took us to the train station, and we said, we were like in 45 minutes till the train left, and we said, okay, well, y'all can say bye to us here. It's no problem. And they were like, no, 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 no. We're going to wait until, I'm sorry, my phone's, oh. They said, we're going to wait until your train leaves. We're not going to leave you here. And we were like, oh, no. So we kind of hung around together and everything and talked, and it was just really nice, okay? And they put us on the train. On the train, Scott and I had not had a chance to talk almost during this entire 2-day span because we were always with people, other than when we went to bed the night before and we went right to sleep, and then we got up and we got really ready really quick and came out. We had not had any time to discuss this weekend, and it was amazing. We get on the train, it's already dark, so there's nothing to look out at. We have our big table in front of us. I got a piece of paper from somewhere and a pen, and we started writing. There was not a single detail that we wanted to forget. Of course, now I can't find that piece of paper. I think it is in my Louis Vuitton. I have a big Louis Vuitton box that one of my purses came in. I think in there is a lot of keepsakes from all our different trips. That would be kind of a cool video. I might take you through my Louis Vuitton keepsake box. But anyway, we wrote and we wrote and we wrote and we wrote all the way back to Paris. We were laughing so hard at the different things that happened and what each other was thinking, as we shared. Oh my gosh, we had tears. We were dying. We were having so much fun together, reliving those 2 days on that 3-hour train trip back to Paris. And our observations, obviously, were that Parisians are awesome. They're nice. They're normal. They're just like us in so many ways, but different in so many ways. Um, we definitely figured out that the dad's side of the family were the kind of loud, kind of rambunctious, relaxed, you know, how you doing kind of people. And then the mom's side of the family was more reserved, a little bit more what you would expect French people to be. They were a little bit quieter, but no less showed us a fabulous time. They went to an equal amount of trouble for us. Um, they we enjoyed each other so much. We did so many fun things on Saturday. I'm probably not conveying that enough on the next day, Sunday probably, conveying that enough. But the whole weekend was absolutely wonderful. Um, we will never forget it. We will never forget it. Scott watched the video from last Sunday. Uh, and just enjoyed reliving the experience again, other than the few times he had to correct me of things I might have missed, forgetting to tell. So overall, our Marseille trip was fantastic. We would love to go again and do, Monaco and whatever, Cannes and all those other little towns. We were so close to Italy and Marseille. It was just a couple hours we could have driven into Italy. We didn't realize that at the time, but anyway, it was awesome. It was wonderful. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will check you next weekend on my Parisian journey.